Y'all, so I'm not on camera right now. I just want to give a quick download that I just got, y'all. So I'm sitting here, right? And I'm watching me a little movie, y'all. And I got my light off and stuff, and I'm just chilling, y'all. And out of nowhere, I hear Gwen Stefani song. Y'all, I have not heard this since I've been so young, right? And it's called, that is Holla Back Girl, right? And she says, that's right. Hold on, nope, let me go back. Okay, no, I got it right. Okay, so let me tell y'all the download that I got, right? She said, that's right, get in close, super Hawaii, right? And she said, few times been around that track, so it's not gonna happen like that, cause I ain't no holla back girl, ain't no holla back girl, right? Those who know the song, y'all know the rest. I ain't gonna do the whole thing, right? And so, y'all, I was gonna get gutter, but my ancestors told me, check myself. Right? Check yourself, man. What are you doing, right? I was going to get real life gutter, right? I'm like, what's going on, right? But I know what's going on. And they spoke and said, you are out of that era, right? You are out of that era of needing to be aggressive, right? A lot of us have been through a lot of things in our life. And when you go through things, it can make you handle stuff differently, right? And I spoke on this in another one of my videos. And so a lot of people out here want a lot of y'all to become the old you, right? They are so upset, right? That you have changed over time, right? You have stepped into who you are supposed to be. And they are going around causing a fuss, saying you ain't who you say you are. And if we do this and that, then we can make them do this and that, right? And it gets to the point where you get people who don't even know you, right? That goes far and beyond to do these things, right? They try to poke the bear, right? And you go, it gets so bad, right, that it's people who don't like each other, but they'll come together because it's you, right? The new kid on the block, right? And so, hold on, let me go here because I want to finish reading this thing, right? A lot of these people want you to put them down. Hold on, read my notes. I put on there also, they want to prove that you're the clown, when in all actuality, they are the clown. Right? They try to be slick slide, right? They try to use, they done did some hacking, right? And so they keep saying, stars for us, I mean, I guess. And so anyways, these people are doing slick slide tactics, right? So be careful. And what it is that you guys are responding to, because they're trying to prove something about you. She did it, they've been doing, right? And a lot of these people, they don't like each other, but because you're the new kid on the block and you the one, that's it, right? Tag, you're it. They are upset right now. And so they're trying to stage and set up things to make it look like you're the one that's aggressive when in actuality you're minding your business. And so what they do is, right, what I noticed is that I got multiple of these people up here on these platforms that is taking things out of, right, it's real subtle, passive aggressive, right, taking things out of my work, right, whatever I'm putting up here on the platform, and they're like putting drops of it inside of their work, right. So on one of my last video, I said something about crabs in a bucket, right? Crab, people want you to put your hands out there, right? Crabs in a bucket, right? Which is a saying for anyone to use, but you know when somebody is saying that to pick, right? To cause a issue, to get you stirred up, right? That shit is irrelevant. And so anyways, just be careful on the slick slide tactics. And this is why a lot of people got knocked out of the box fucking with these washed up people on these damn platforms, right? And so then she says, this my shit, right? And I put jealous because the new kid on the block is hot and they washed up and they're not, right? And so, I already said that. Use passive aggressive tactics, right? Slide what you say in their content. Still little shit like, I put in here, I said, the one girl, she said crabs in the bucket. I said, and the other one, right? The other girl on her video, she got a testimony all of a sudden. And then the other one, she slides in people names, right? People names that I used to be in contact with, right? From my past. And these are people who are threatened by us, right? These are Satan who go up on these platforms, right? They're washed up. They repeat themselves. They have nothing to offer to people. And they play this innocent role. But God has been showing me something with these people. They have knocked, right, a lot of new people out of the box because they all have this habit. Even if they don't like each other, they will come together for the person that they are threatened of, right? And so God has been showing me something, right? A lot of people, right, people that you listen to, you don't listen to, right? People that you actually might have took a liking to, these people are insecure and they go up there and play sugar and spice and everything nice, right? They play this role, they play the earth angel, and they throw out certain words, right? Certain, what they call it, wordplay. They use certain wordplay, right? My uncle gave me that, right? Shouts out to you, Uncle E, right? They use wordplay to manipulate, right? and to get the crowd drawn into them. And these people are succubus and incubus. Y'all got to be careful what and who y'all are listening to, because these people are playing certain roles, right? And I wasn't going to touch down on this, but see, God has brought it up, right? And see, when people play in your energy, they give you access to them. So thank you. And so, let's go. What she said, I put it on there. Okay, then she said on there, right? She said, I heard that you were talking shit, and you didn't think I would hear it. People hear you talking like that, and it's getting everybody fired up, right? So these people are mad because us new people coming on, right? Speaking the truth. Some of y'all need to come from behind y'all screens and start creating, right? Stop listening to these people. Stop getting caught up in years of entanglement of nothing, right? And put yourself out there, because I need y'all to see these people targeting y'all, right? These people will come after y'all because they're washed up, right? These people in these deals, these agreements, right? They think that they the first, second, and third best thing, right? And even though these people don't like each other, I need y'all to come. God said, come from behind these screens and create your own so you can see who the problem is. The same people that y'all are listening to, these people are problems. These people see you as a threat. This is how you know that they have hacked into my phone, because every time I speak on this, the storage is full. I can speak on, y'all can get gangster, gutter, talk all type of trash, right? They will let me push that up there. But soon as I talk with some sense, God said, correct yourself. Correction, right? As soon as I corrected myself, all the storage is full on everything. Storage full, y'all, I got new everything. Storage is full on everything, and I ain't used nothing, but everything is used, right? And so anyways, let's keep it moving, because the devil do not like you speaking like this, right? Me, you, them, and anybody else. And so anyways, let me keep it rolling, because I got to figure out where I was at, right? So she said, so I'm ready to attack. I'm going to lead the pack. I'm going to get it touchdown. Going to take you out. That's right. Put your pom-poms down. Get everybody fired up, right? And then she says, so that's right, dude. Meet me at the bleachers. No principals, no students, no teachers. Right? Both of us want to be the winners, but there can only be one. So I'm going to fight. I'm going to give it my all. Going to make you fall. Going to sock it to you, right? That's right. I'm the last one standing. Another one bites the dust, right? That's my favorite part, y'all. Laughing my ass off, honey. They are big mad. You hear me? Don't get caught in the trap, right? These people like to stage beef, right? Whoever is at the top giving these deals, right? And see, the thing about it is, by the time a lot of us go to speak and do what it is we doing, God would have already sorted it out. But the trap is getting you caught up into the mess, right? Don't get caught in their mess. So, let me go back here, right? She said, so that's right, dude. Meet me at the bleachers. No principals, no students, no teachers, right? That's what they say. That's what they say, right? Because a lot of people cowards. They've been doing a lot of shots fired behind the scene, going up in the to the top, complaining and putting in false reports, right? And see, a lot of people get caught because it's like, damn, how I'm looking at 100 different people, 10 different people, however many people implement doing this, doing that, right? God's showing me something, right? When God take me in a place and space, somebody in trouble. I've been telling them this for years, Lord, right? And so every time I go to do something, right, God will take me this way. And I say, okay, God, I really want to do this, right? And I go in there and I see some foulness. God snake me right back out, slither on back up out of there, right? Then he'll take me to this way. And I go up in there and I'm like, damn, what's this, God? God, like, you see that? Right? It's like Ezekiel. It's literally, God gave me Ezekiel before he gave me this, right? But I didn't understand why. Y'all got chills everywhere. You hear me? I didn't understand why God was giving me Ezekiel, right? If you go read Ezekiel was talking about when God said, took him into these different places and spaces, and he was showing them doing all this corrupt stuff, right? And he was giving Ezekiel instructions on what to do to clear it out, right? Ezekiel was paying these people karmic debt off of them. They didn't even know it, right? But at the end, he said, dang, right? Let me correct my mouth. He said, dang, I guess there is hope, right? But God said that he had to go into the people's hearts, right? To correct it, because the people were so corrupt, they couldn't even do it themselves, right? They couldn't even do it what they will. God said I had to enter into their hearts, right? To change this wickedness, to change their wicked hearts, to change them inside of there, right? The hurt, the pain, the this, the that, right? So, anyways, when God gave Ezekiel these instructions, right, he pulled his spirit from him to go with, because I kept saying, damn, Ezekiel was all over the place, right? But he was pulling him, right, let him see with his spiritual eye, right, what was going on. He said, come look at this, Ezekiel. Them people in there worshiping other gods, right? And so Ezekiel go up in the place, and Ezekiel like, what's this up in here? He like, oh, this is a mess, right? But they couldn't see Ezekiel because Ezekiel was in there with his spirit, right? But he walking through there freely, going to the tombs, looking, seeing them, worshiping all these false gods and all these false idols, right? And so Ezekiel was terrified, and he was giving Ezekiel instructions on how to move and what to do and how to pay this off for the people, right? This is why people always talk about they want a spot. You're going to take a spot, all right? You're going to get a spot, all right? You're going to get a spot, all right, while you up in here playing, because you don't know what somebody got to do to help the people to break certain things off, and what certain training, what type of, how they got to go through certain training, they got to go a certain amount of time without having, they got to go a certain amount of time without doing X. In the midst of it, your dang on edges might be on the flow. You understand? Why y'all all wanting something. And so, anyways, I want to go back. Hold up, let me see. I wrote something. I want to go back to when she said, meet me at the bleachers, no principals, no students, and no teachers, right? I want to go back there. And so these people, right, going up in certain places and spaces and trying to get your content taken down and trying to report you and lying on you, right? And talking about, it's mine, my precious, right? It's mine, my precious. Let me yell louder about my testimony. It happened. I was skinny. I was X, Y. It happened, right? Doing all this putting on, right? But God is showing me who these people been a problem, and these people that has been a problem for people that have been came before me, and people that have given up, right? But see, oh shit, oh excuse me, Lord, ooh, Lord, oh no, hell no, y'all done up and done it, right? And so, oh hell no, could you imagine, right? How many people, Lord, I couldn't even fathom. When God gave me this, and He showed me this, and He showed me these corrupt people, right? And God just showed me a few, right? And I said, God, I don't even want to see the rest, right? When He showed me the level of corruptness in these people's hearts, and they going up there speaking His word, and they going up there talking about the earth angels and all this weird stuff, right? And I'm seeing these people, and I'm listening to them, and God said, all them people you listening to, right? All them years, right? All them people's hearts is corrupted. They all foul. They all sellouts, right? They all sellouts. And so it's blowing me, right? What God is showing me, right? When she said, meet me at the bleachers, no principals, no students, no teachers, right? They out here firing shots fire, yeah. They out here ganging up after dark, right? Have anybody else noticed the strong winds, right? God was showing me that was spell work being done, right? But it would not touch us, right? God said that it may come near us, but it would not touch us. You understand? These people thought that they was going to stand in a circle on me and or you, yeah. And they thought that they was going to shoot something toward. I want to say this and I'm going to get off of here. It was a one lady that I was watching, right? And I got on her platform and she was going live. And I said, hey, girl, right? Y'all didn't have no thought, no think, no nothing, right? And so when I said, hey, girl, to her, her behavior was so strong. She had just started her live. And I said, I finally caught one of your lives, right? She said, oh, I got to get up, put a scarf on my head. I got to get up, right? So I'm like, damn, that's weird. Y'all, she was supposed to be getting up and go find a scarf. She went from trying to go find a scarf to completely cutting the live, right? These are people, right? A lot of these people that y'all are watching, right? These people are sellouts and they are cowards and they are habitual liars. And they have been getting people good people, taken out of the game because of their lies. But see, they have set a pattern, right? One thing about it is, these people, my granddad always told me, right? I didn't know I started off on this platform saying that he always told me, Moo, when you go into a place in a space, you don't know when you go get that job and stuff and everything and stuff, right? It's always a person that's a problem before you get there. And these type of people is already on their way out the door, right? And they always gonna want to take somebody with them, but they wait and they pick their shots, right? And 9 times out of 10, it's always somebody who 10 times better than them that they try to take down with them, right? These people don't go without a fight, right? And I'll never forget, I remember I got hired in this job, and I'm in there doing this, I'm doing it, I stick it, baby, do it, right? I'm in there minding my business, and it was this she was old, washed up, dope fiend. She was in there doing all kind of stuff, right? And this guy, right, he seen me in there doing my job, he seen me in there working real hard. And so he walked past me, and he said, oh my God, you just look like a little teddy bear, right? Because I had like this teddy bear hat on, it was cold outside still. He said, oh my God, you look like a little teddy bear, you're just so cute, right? And this was one of the head top dudes, right? This is why you got to be careful, and this is why you don't get up in nobody's mess, right? And so after that, and what's so crazy is she was training me, but I didn't know that they had staged her to train me and that she was a problem, right? I guess they wanted to see was I gonna complain, but I never complained. And so she's training me, and she was actually a good worker, and she was actually a good trainer, right? I'm not going to take that from her, but she had some issues, right? Drinking beer in the car, smoking dope, right? The devil is dope, right? Literally. But some days she would be okay, and then other days she would come in and be a rancid monster, right? And so when this guy walked past me this day, it grinded her gears, right? And when he said what he said. And she said, she mumbled, well, if she said, if she looked like a little teddy bear, and if she cute, then I must look like Whoopi Goldberg's sister, right? And he didn't hear, so he like, what did you say? He did a 360 in the middle of the hallway, and it came up to the tote that we was working out of, because I work with these big old metal pieces. And so he said, what did you say? Right? And he had this crazy look on his face. And I'm looking at her and I'm looking at him like, what the fuck? Right? And she said it again. She was bold. She said, well, and her face all turned up. Well, I said that if she this and she that, then I must look like Whoopi Goldberg's sister. He said, I mean, I guess if that's how you feel about yourself. He looked back at her and kept walking. Like, the hell would that come from, right? But who would have thought that day would have turned into a fucking nightmare, right? After that, she went on a plot and plan and a plan and a plot and a plot and a plan. But everybody else went about their day, including me, including that man. But she went on a staging, set up, corrupt, demonic. I mean, that entity had climbed in her, climbed over her, and climbed up in her vagina. And so, anyways, hold on, y'all, I'm getting texts at the same time. And so, anyways, after that, y'all, she started up. And she started with little stuff at first, right? She was like, she tried to end my training early. And I ain't think nothing of nothing, right? And then the one guy came up to me, he said, she supposed to still be training you this, that, and the other. I'm like, it's right. Oh, I got it down packed. But but everybody else knew that she was a problem. And any young girl that had any type of body or beauty or anything, right? That she was jealous of him and that she kept targeting him really bad. And so they didn't say anything to me right away. They put me with her to see if I was going to say anything. But at that time, I wasn't paying attention to it. And so she kept doing stuff, and so they said, okay, you gotta go to the other side of the work area, right? I didn't say anything, somebody else went and told on her. And so I don't know, she thought I did, I didn't give a damn. And so the guys over there just got sick of her because she was so bad. Everybody already knew, and they like, this is about to get out of hand, right? But the reason why it was about to get out of hand, because I was such a good worker that the supervisor started to get jealous. Now, I'm not noticing, but everybody else noticing because it obviously is a pattern. It's always a pattern. It's always something before you already get there. And so, the supervisor come up to me and he say, oh, you good at all this stuff and all this, right? They was half-ass training people how to print stuff and all kind of weird stuff, print orders out and all kind of stuff. And this was a whole different job. I never talked about this place. And I learned how to do it, right? And so he came up to me and he said, can you print the stuff, like when people come up here and stuff and they don't know what they're doing, can you help them? Matter of fact, can you just come over here and print, right? He was trying to take me completely, and so he says, oh, I want you to, when people need help, I want you to come over here. Then he said, matter of fact, you could just stay over here and you do the printer and do this and do that. So I said, what? Do you got the authority to do that, right? You ain't got the fucking authority to be taking me out one space and put me in another space, right? But what it was is that I was too good. So he wanted to take me from my spot and put me over here to make it look like I'm effing off, but he was trying to stage it as well, right? Everybody got their little plot, but it was some real ones in the building, and they like, F this, I'm not allowed to go down, right? Y'all do this every time, right? And so the guy come up to me and he say to me, don't go over there, right? Don't help him out. He said, is he paying you for that? Then one of the head people come and tell you do that, right? You can tell when somebody hating, and you can tell when somebody is informing you. That man was not hating, that man was being informative, right? And so he said, how he gonna tell you to come over there and do something that ain't nobody else gave you the job description to do? He is not nobody, right? He ain't even been here that long. He said, just pay attention, right? And I started to see what it was is that my numbers was higher than everybody. So he wanted to shut my numbers off. So he was trying to pull me from one place. If I'm helping over here, then I'm not gonna be getting the numbers that I'm supposed to have. And y'all look, my numbers were so freaking high, right? It took 5 people to do the job that I was doing, and they barely still got the numbers that I had, right? And so one day, right, I had did all these parts, and he went and took 5 people, y'all, literally, and set them over in a group. And then the next day, he come in, he never done this, right? And he come in and say, oh, I want to give we got to have a meeting, right? We need to have a meeting. And he said, I just want to congratulate the team for getting this amount, right? And he was talking about this group of 5 that he had to put together. And I'm one person, right? And so one of the guys stood up and they said, didn't you put them 5 people together yesterday? He said, yes, and they did such an awesome job. He said, but what about her, though? She run them numbers by herself. So it took for you to put 5 people together, and you're giving them a shout-out, which you never have done, right? So this let you know, right? This let you know that the intentions of him taking me from trying to put me over on this printer error was trying to take from me, right? So we go back to that beginning of it. And so the other guy came up to me. He said, I told you. He said, didn't I tell you don't go over there to that printer and mess with the printer? He said, ain't nobody told you to do that, but he over here playing with, he said, trying to mess up your numbers with his jealous ass, right? Y'all, we used to be on a rampage, right? But it's always some real ones in the building. Always some real ones in the building, right? When you innocent in things, it's always somebody looking. They already know what's been going on. And so this woman, right? Y'all, she take the broom. She's sliding dirt all over the place. She's doing stuff on purpose. And this particular day, she had smoked some dope. And she had drank some beer out of her car on break at the job, right? But what's crazy is, it was a person in a whole different side of the building. I don't know how it got over there to him. Off a whole nother shift. Off of a whole nother shift, right? And I don't know how it got to him. But what happened, no, I guess I do. What happened was, it was a woman who actually worked on the first shift, right? And she ended up picking up on second shift. And she would come over and work by me. And we would always talk about different things. She was an older lady and her husband worked here. And so, what I kept complaining about the woman and what she was doing. But she kept saying, you so bratty, right? Because of the way I looked. She kept thinking I was spoiled and bratty. But I'm like, I'm not, what is you talking about? She kept saying, you just a spoiled brat, right? I mean, like, she looked at me like a daughter. And I'm like, I'm not a spoiled brat. I'm telling you what the fuck this bitch is doing, right? And so it took for her to work on the shift a couple times and for her to actually see what the woman was doing. And once the woman had walked up to her, the woman tried to whisper because she already seen the lady talk to me, right? And so she got so mad because nobody want to talk to her. And y'all was even crazier, y'all. Her name was the lady who was a problem. Her name was a known name to be an a-hole. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Everybody in the world say this name, right? Let's give y'all a riddle diddle, right? Solved it. Y'all, her name was a known name in the world. What we call people when they act in the ass, when they have no right to be acting the ass, right? When they just be causing problems, right? It's that what? We call them a what? Right? A female name. That was her real name, y'all. And so, just so happened, that's fucked up, right? And so, anyways, y'all. What's even crazier, y'all, is that her son was working there, right? And her son kept wanting to jump in for her. And when all this stuff went down, right, he ended up coming to me and talking to me, but he tried to walk past with his chest buffed out. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. So anyway, it took for another supervisor from the other shift to come, right, from first shift. He ended up standing over to watch this shit go down. Because when she went and whispered whatever she whispered to the married woman who would work by me and always call me spoiled, basically Star was her daughter. And when she came into her whisper, she told that woman to get the F about her face. She said, no, we ain't doing that. She said, you get the F about my face. Get away from me and my husband, right? Because the husband was working across from us, and once she seen that woman go to the wife, everybody knew she was a problem, right? I was the only one like, what the F is going on? I mean, I know she doing stuff, but I didn't know it was that bad, right? They should have been released her. But it's like, what do you do with a Klondike bar? You just crush that motherfucker. You eat it whole. You hear me? And so... Yeah, you gotta get the whole thing and scoop it out, right? You can't let it, I think she always had something, right? She always had a reason, a scam, a scheme, how she was staying there, right? But it's like, how many people do you work for? I bet. Anyways, y'all, so this woman walked up, right, to this other woman that I work with. And she tried to whisper something to her, and I heard a lady say, get the F away from me. And the husband heard his wife, and so he walked across the little walkway, and he's like, man, what's going on? And when she seen that the husband walked up to his wife, he heard rushed across her to comfort his wife, like, why she was going off. So the lady finally come up to me, and she grabs me, and she hugs me, and I'm like, what did you hug me for? She's like, I did not know what you was talking about. So I'm like, what is you talking about? She said, when you kept saying stuff, she said, I wasn't catching what you were saying. She said, girl, she said, I got something for her, right? So the woman, the next day when she came in, she came and, went on her shift, and she told her supervisor, obviously. And so the supervisor stayed over, but everybody already knew that this woman was a problem. You know, what would you do for a Klondike bar? You eat it. You crush it. You eat it whole, right? It's like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, right? The problem is the problem of the problem is the problem. It's like, how is this problem still in here, right? But it's like, them type of people always just slick their way through. They just keep always slicking their way through, right? And so, the woman... I do believe that she went on first shift and told the supervisor because that supervisor was over super long that day, right? Just so happened, the grace of God or that woman, I believe it was that woman and that husband when it said something, right? Whatever she came and said to them, it was alarming enough for them to go tell on her. And so, and they knew it was out of pure evilness and jealousy, but not only that, it was other young girls, beautiful girls, that was coming in that she kept attacking, and come to find out, right, at the end, once they finally get rid of her, right, they tell us, oh, she been a problem for, like 20 other people. They had to move around because her. I'm looking like, what the fuck? And y'all, you just now saying that, right? But I guess they couldn't say nothing about it, right, because the setup was me, right? You understand? And so, I was the last ticket, right? I was her last meal ticket. I was like, the walk. I was the dinner before execution day. You understand? You understand? I need somebody to hear me. And so, some of y'all are the walk before execution day. And so, anywho's, y'all. Like, I'm dead serious, though, y'all. I'm dead serious. I'm trying to correct myself here, Lord. But anyways, y'all, this particular day, when the man stayed over, she ramped it up even more because I guess she figured, I'm going to go out with a bang. So she took the broom and started tossing dirt from one end to the other end, right? She wanted me to slap all hell out of her, but the Holy Spirit held my feet to the ground, right? But what's even crazier is that the supervisor kept seeing her do it, and he was laughing and ducking around. Let me tell you how God worked. He kept laughing and ducking around the thing, and everybody's watching me, but I guess everybody knew, besides me, her, and the supervisor, that the other supervisor had stayed over. So I kept saying, why everybody acting like this? Y'all, they was in extra correction state, right? Everybody was doing their jobs. Everybody was looking down. And everybody had that. You ever seen a person with glasses on and they look down, right? But they looking up. They head tilted down, but they looking up from the top of their glasses, right? That's how everybody's heads was coming off the top of their bins. I'm like, why they all looking like this, right? But even though she was doing what she was doing, and the lady, I noticed that before that lady left, she came back up to me again, right, the next day before she got caught. And she gave me a hug, and she said, "You gonna be all right?" And she kept trying to talk to me about a cat, and she said, "I'm gonna give you this cat, right?" She had like a little mini kitten, and she said that her cat had kittens or something. She wanted to bring me one to work, right? You're just trying to make my day better, like just you good, right? You good, right? I can't tell you what's going on, but you all right, right? Just do your job and keep rolling. So I goes to do my work, y'all. She takes the broom. She's singing. She flinging around in the middle of the floor, right? She had her dope, right, on break, y'all. She was okay for the first half. Then she started turning up, right? She had that dope in the car, and she was snorting it. I don't know what she was doing with it, cooking it. But I don't know what she was doing with it. And she had some beers. And that day, she smelled like a beer, and she was turned up on. She was doing stuff to a little bit of everybody. She started going around to other people, trying to put them in and having them. They were so uncomfortable that people were scared to talk to me because they did not want to be targeted by this woman, right? They were scared to talk to me. The one guy, he was so cool, right? And he was like on this big weight loss journey and all this stuff, y'all. He had lost like freaking 200 pounds and all this, right? We was all talking about it, and he was talking about what he was gonna do for the weekend. Like, he would always come to me and talk to me. But she had got so bad with going up to him talking. She had got so bad. Once she seen that somebody talk to me, she kept trying to infiltrate him, right? But she would kept going up to him obsessively, right? Obsessively, to the point where it made them uncomfortable to come say anything to me, because it's like, oh my God, I don't want to be in the middle of this, right? God always used me to target these people, right? Even if I didn't know I was being used, but when I look back on it, God was using me, right? And so it's the same thing with these platforms, right? These people that's want to play victim and cry wolf. They did it to me, and they running around. Stay on, y'all gotta go back. What's even crazier, I gotta go back before I tell y'all the last day, right? Like, that same week, right? No, it was a week before. The week before she ended up getting out of there, before they walked her out, did they walk of shame with her, right? She told one of the coworkers, so-called, right? Because you got to be careful what you take it in. When somebody see something going on around you, and they got jealousy and envy too, man and or woman, right? Opposite sex from you or whatever, right? A lot of times they're jealous too. So some people take delight in sin because they say she thinks she all that, he think he all that, right? It's something about you, right? These people are so jealous, right? They get in them too because they not being praised, right? They're not being paid attention to. But y'all chose to F off while that person came in there and chose to get their job done, right? So why you feeling some type of way when you had the same opportunity, right? And so not everybody want to sit neck up straight forward when somebody else walk in and do the job. I mean, but if that's what get the job done, right? And so this guy walked up to me, right? And he says to me, she said that she was going to go. He said that the other guy did. But this dude couldn't have been lying because he didn't know, right, where this person was at in the building. He did not know that man walked up to me and said it was only me and her standing right there. And so he said that one of the head dudes walk up to you or something and say something to you about your hat or something. I said, yeah. He said something about, I looked like a teddy bear because I had like this little bubble things on the top of my hat. And he said, and he was like, you look so small and cute. He said that she told one of the other coworkers that she was going to tell the head guy that you said that you was going to press sexual harassment charges on him. So I said, what the fuck did you just say to me? He said, that woman that's been over here causing you problems and issues, right? This was the week before she got fired. That she said she was going to do X, Y, and Z. So I said, oh, is that right, right? That's not something you fucking play about in no goddamn workplace, right? So I said, oh, is that right? He said, what did he walk up to you and say? I said, wasn't nothing like that. I said, but that bitch is evil, right? So nobody wanted to smoke because how low and evil this woman was. And you got to think, people was there before I hit the door, so they knew how evil and low vibrational she was and how low she was willing to go, right? How low would you go? How low would you go? How low would you go? How low would you go, right? So everybody was running. When they seen her, they just ran. Y'all, she was doing so, y'all, it was some young dudes in there, right? They would smoke before work, but that wasn't none of our business. What they was smoking, that ain't my business, your business, or their business, right? Maybe a cigarette, maybe a Black & Mild, maybe something else. It ain't my business, right? It wasn't our business. Do you know that she was smelling on them, and she was so evil that when I first started working there, these two dudes walked in so evil that she knew that other people smelled this on these two guys. But nobody would say nothing. Do you know she dropped a fucking Rello on the floor and went and told on them? She dropped the Rello and said, I just seen them two dudes drop a Rello and had to get them drug tested at the job, right? But see, look how God do it. Lord, do it for me. And Lord, if you don't do it, it just won't be done. CCC. Oh, NSC. That's all I'm saying. CCC. Woo! It's called Hey You. Hey, get off my mountain. Hey you, get off my clown. You're just trying to bring me down. I think you better get up out my face. Woo! It's called that bite back, bitch. Y'all see, I was going to finish my other video up, but the Lord told me to come this way. That way, he be just slinging me everywhere, and I just let him do it. And so, y'all been seeing all kind of stuff. I got videos on that, too, but I was a little aggressive on that. God told me, child, you need to calm down, because you got it, cuz. You got it, bruh. You got it. I gave it to you. How you like that? And so... God said, what is you doing? I said, I don't know, Lord, because they done made me mad. I'm going to rev this up, right? He said, but what you revving it up for? You on a different timeline, babes. I See, you gotta know when the seasons have switched, right? Because we go into that stuff, right? We go into them areas. When you in that area where you got your back against the wall, you gotta fight like hell to crawl your way up out of there. Then you go through that area where you in a soft air, but you ain't came out of the air that you was in. So God, you know, by the time you come out ready to swing, God already brought you out of the head of it, right? A lot of times I'm ready to fight, and I look back, and I'm like, dang, I'm the only one fighting, right? God like, what is you doing? I'm like, I'm about to fight. God like, but I already took care of that, right? So you gotta know when to drop the swords. A lot of times when we ready to go swinging, God already took care of it, babes. Put your swords down, put the weight down, put it down. You in a whole nother era, man. I looked up, and it took, y'all, I was on a rampage, right? I gotta go back here in a second. I'm about to finish this up. But I was on a rampage, right? And I sat down because my phone, storage full, that's what they do to you. But sometimes I can take it for the bad, or I can take it for the good. I said, okay, God, let me sit down. And when I sat down, I got to watching, what's the name of this movie, Lord? It's a, let me see. It's a movie, Fallout. I was watching that series, Fallout, right? Y'all, and I was on the part when he was talking about, it's okay. They was in there having a group session, right? I'm in the second season. The first one of the second, the first series of the episode, the first episode of the second series. Yeah, something like that, y'all, because I don't get off into it. Get into it, y'all. I'm in the second series, first episode. And they is sitting down having a group session therapy. And he said, it's okay that you had a baby by your cousin or your... Y'all, stop playing with me! Or he said something like that. Or it's okay that your mother had a baby by her cousin. Y'all, and I take everything as a sign of synchronicity. So I said, Lord, I might got a little Down syndrome. Is that true? Shit. And so you never know these days, because they be lying about everything. You wonder why they trying to keep you here. Oh, shit. I mean, I'm just saying, you just never know. People like, girl, but I'm smart as hell. Geek squad, right? And you got them people in these schools trying to water you down. Tomorrow, take this second grade class, test so we can turn you into a clown. And I just play along with them. I don't know what that said. Can you read that to me? Can you read that to me? No, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that say. Nope. You know, somebody in my family, they so crooked. Crooked letter I, hump back, I, right? He said, you got the ups. And I said, what that mean? I'm not doing that. He said, you better learn how to roll with the punches. I got more out of life doing that. And he really have, though. So you got to know when to slow down. Let him have it, right? They don't want you to talk about that. And so, y'all know I be clowning. Let me speed this thing back up, Lord, because I forgot which way I was going with it. I don't want to get lost in the sauce. And so, y'all, let me speed it back up, right? We going to get on this woman. And so, y'all, I forgot what part I was at. Oh, shoot. God, bring me back to it. Let me humble myself. It was another song that I heard, y'all. Hold on. Because God be clowning. Y'all heard, wait a minute, I get on there and I heard Prince, y'all. I met a girl named Nikki. What'd she say? I met a girl named Nikki. You could tell she was a sex fiend. Met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with the magazine. What? I said, Lord, what is this? I heard it over and over all through the week. And I said, who done lied, Lord? Because they don't know nothing about me, Jesus. And God said, they done lied all up on you. I said, oh, shoot. I said, I met a girl named Nikki. Hey, you could tell she was a sex fiend. I met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with the magazine. Did you? Oh, where was this at? What time was this? Daytime and hour, tell me where it happened at. Because the Lord be telling on all of y'all. Anyways, let me keep rolling. And so, then I heard Bodyguard, right? I kept hearing Whitney Houston songs. I kept saying, God, why are you giving me Whitney Houston songs? And he told me Bodyguard. And I said, okay, but I knew what that was. And so I took that in. And if somebody else need to take it in, babes. But anyways, y'all, let me keep rolling. And so, y'all, let me go back up to the date, time, and the hour. That it turned around and bit her in the ass when she threw that Rello on the floor and went and lied on them boys. They took them back there and got them drug tested. And even though they was riding dirty, they was some good workers with her foul ass. But what's crazy is that she had a son working there, right? And her son was an awesome worker, right? They had them separated. But I found out it was her son because when she first started training, he walked up and he said something to me. He said hello. But he even looked intense, like, oh my gosh, she about to have me in this shit again, right? So it's a message out there for the young men, right? And so I could just tell when he see me, his chest sunk in, his heart sunk in, his back sunk in. I'm like, why are you looking like that, right? Like he just was sick, right? So it just looked depressed, like, Mama, I need the car. I'm about to throw up, right? And they had them on different shifts. So when we came in, he was leaving, and he would get the car from her. Sometimes he would walk because they didn't stay far from the job. And so he spoke, but it's like you could tell he didn't want to speak. But I'm like, why is he looking? You know, I pick up on certain things, right? You can tell them people body language. And so, y'all, the last day she was there, won't he do it? Yeah, he will. Hey, because he show up in all times. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. So I trust him at all times. Hey, that's my girl right there. And so, y'all, I can't never get to the punchline. Somebody like, hurry up, I'm going to speed you up. Girl, don't worry about it, I speed myself up. The hell? I don't need your help. But I mean, if you need to, skip it. I'm just saying. We over here having a party. Moves air time. Broadway show. Okay. The Lord gave it to me. Yeah. And so, So after she did that to them boys, and the next week come around, right? And she starts swinging that broom, and that crooked ass supervisor with his bald headed ass, he had 3 pieces of hair, he like Homer Simpson, right? 3 pieces of hair, kept a skull cap on, and when he took it off, he had the nerve to scratch his head. Y'all ever seen Friday when she took off that wig and she had them braids in there? She was the first that did it. Hey, and I'll be going to some of these stores, I'll be seeing the hats with the braids in there, or the quick weave in the back of there, because I'm gonna give me a couple of those. Who else getting some? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay. And so, y'all, stop playing with me. I'm gonna make my own, because I'm creative. Don't you? You're not supposed to be doing arts and leisures, right? No creativity. And so, y'all, let me keep going, because I done had my coffee for the day. I done had my coffee for today, right? I'm like that little boy on that cartoon. He was like, could you hurry up and tell us? Y'all, so the next week rolled around, right? 7 o'clock on the dot, I'm in my drop top. Y'all, somebody about to be pissed off. Somebody about to be upset, child. Get to the point, bitch. Get to the goddamn point. They is shaking right now. Anyway, we ain't got nothing but time, because I need you around. I want you around. That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Okay, y'all. Hey, don't come for me if I ain't send for you. Okay? And so, y'all, let me get to the last day. Somebody said, you been at the last day for the last days. Y'all like fucking with y'all, right? There's always somebody out there neck red as hell screaming. They is shaking. Okay, God, I'm done. I'm serious this time, y'all. Okay, so, I mean, you need to laugh a bit. You need to loosen up. I mean, you need to put your shoulders down and untense yourself. Okay? Anybody did it to you. And the world ain't did it to you. Right? Even if they did it to you, they ain't did nothing to you. You understand? Sit your chin up. Right? Put your shoulders back, chin up, and straighten yourself out, brother. Right? Get it together. Right? Life ain't that bad. It ain't that serious. I've been through it all, man. I'm telling you. I'm still here, man. God is good. Amen. Sit still, stay quiet, and do your thug thizzle. And so, y'all, when she took that broom and slung it, right, the dude that looked like Homer Simpson, the supervisor, running around, right, he running all behind the desk, running all between other things, right, laughing, right? But what they didn't know is that the supervisor, which was another head, he wasn't just a supervisor, he was like a manager / supervisor / something else, right? He was the one who goes sit up in the office with the big guys, along with the other dude. But the other dude, we would just see him at the beginning, he'd just do his walkthrough, speaking way to everybody, right? And so, oh, y'all, I forgot to tell y'all. When she did that line, I went and said something to the supervisor before he got indignant, right? And started acting real crazy. I don't know what got on him. I think she did some zippity poo on that motherfucker. He lost his shoe. You understand? And because he would be okay. Like my actual supervisor, he'd be okay sometimes. And no, he wouldn't. He was ass kissy, right? So I went to him and I told him what was said, right? But while I was speaking to him about what I was saying, I had told the same dude that came up to me that I was going to go tell my supervisor. I'm going to go tell the supervisor because that is a serious thing, right? And so he didn't want to get in it at first. But once he seen me go up and say something, here he come with his chest and back out. Because she ain't lying. She said it. I was standing there when she said it, right? So he said, oh, I'm going to go get him, right? So when the guy was doing his walkthrough, was the one who said that, oh, you got the teddy bear hat on. Oh, my God, you're so cute. You're just so cute, right? I look like a little kid. I'm only 4'9", right? And so he's like, oh, my God, she's just so cute. She's just so cute, right? But what's crazy? So anyways, y'all, he ended up, the head guy was doing his walk around that day, right? And I went up to my supervisor. I said, I'm going to go tell, I had to go back for a second. I said, I'm going to go tell the supervisor what the fuck this bitch said because that's a serious thing. I'm not letting that go, right? And so the guy see me go to the supervisor and was telling the supervisor what she had said about the sexual harassment thing, right? That she was going to lie and say that I said that I was going to press sexual harassment charges on this head dude, right? And I was such in shock. I didn't give a fuck who heard me. And so I ran into the supervisor and I told the supervisor, I said, you need to go get that man or I'm going to go get him. And I need to speak to him. He said, what's going on? And I tell him and his mouth hanging open, right? And so he turns around to go and get the guy, the head person, to go and tell him what was said. And as he walking back with the head guy, y'all, they walking at 50 miles per hour on foot, right? Giraffe style. And so the guy who came and told me what she said stopped him and said to the head guy and said, I'm the one who told her, right? He did tell him, he said, I'm the one who told her what was said. She's not lying. He said, that woman who been a part of me here, he said her name, he said she told me that she was going to lie on her and said that she said these things, right? And so she's not lying because the lady said it to me, right? And I just told her and she just went and told him. So he walks up to her and he told her, get your things, get your shit, right? She over there acting like she working, twiddle dealing off that dope in the middle of the floor. And he walks up to her, he said, get all your stuff and let's go. So by the time they get to the door, she turned around and said, okay, you tell me what's going on. He said, what is going on? He said something, I know he said to her, and she said, she looking off, she said, I didn't say that, right? Let me tell you something. He knew that woman said that. Why he chose to give her a second chance, I don't know. Because that man was an a-hole too, right? He was a sweetheart, but an asshole, right? At the same time, I don't know how that even match, right? And it's like, I think he was just tired of people's shit. It was so much stuff going on in there, right? And at the end, I started figuring it out, right? Once I left there, and it was just too much. Once I left there and I started computing and calculating what was actually going on, right? Everybody abusing their positions. Everybody doing shit they ain't got no business fucking doing. You got a bitch liar over here. You got this bitch over here starting problems. You got to keep moving 30 to 40 people because this person over here a problem. But how did she was able to convince that man that she didn't say that, right? I don't know, but they ended up letting her stay. The following week around, right? She was already doing stuff. She already kept doing stuff, right? Making everybody uncomfortable, all this stuff. And so that's when it got to the last bit of it. And the supervisor from the other shift, ended up staying over. And he was all the way, y'all, I didn't even see this man. He was all the way off in the cut in between these bins. I worked in his warehouse. He was all the way up in between these bins, right? And by the time I ended up seeing him, they said he was there all day, which he was, because it was nighttime. He had worked first shift. He was supposed to be gone. And by the time I turned around to see him, he was on his phone, right? But I don't think that man was on his phone. I think that he was sitting off in between the bins, acting like he was on his phone to see what she was doing. And so she tried to hold her cool. But once we went on break and came off, she had so much dope in her and them beers in her that she was off the chain. It's like that party pooper, right? The party spoiler. Once she had took the broom and started slanging it, the supervisor didn't know that, my actual supervisor didn't know that this man had stayed over and was off in between the bins, right? Everybody else knew. Remember I told you how everybody was acting like they was looking off the top of their bins like they had a pair of glasses, right? He didn't know. I didn't know. The supervisor didn't know, and she didn't know until I ended up actually turning around and seeing him, right? And he was there for a while before I knew he was there, right? He was in between those bins for a while, right? Whatever they told him, it was enough to make that motherfucker stay over off pay. You understand? With no pay, it was enough. 2 1 o'clock. I just seen 1 now I see 2 and so once she got drunk, she started flinging the broom and doing all this stuff. He watched her a while before that. She was already doing stuff, right? All that day. But it wasn't enough to make him move. But when she got to slinging that broom and he seen what she was doing, she was slinging dirt over there to me and people. And I look up and he seen the supervisor cut off and he was laughing about it. Everybody got their ass toe out. So the supervisor takes his phone, and I know for a fact that motherfucker went on his phone. Because as soon as he seen her do it, he took that phone, threw it in his pocket, and he power walked up to her, and he said, come on, grab your things, and we need to go to the front office. So he said, when she started talking to him, I don't know what she was saying to him, right? She was trying to smooth talking, like she had did everybody else, but that man was not having it. And she must have smelled like liquor, beer, or whatever, and he told her, we got to go up in the front office. Y'all, I bullcrap y'all not. About 30 minutes later, it was like the men in black, like 3 dudes walked in with fucking suits on, right? With some suitcases. And I said, what the fuck they got? And somebody said, oh shit. So I'm like, what is that? What they got, right? What is that? And they was like, that's like the drug test. He said, but that's not like the regular drug test. He said, that's like the one with the liquor blower thing in there, right? I'm like, they bring them up to the job? He said, for that bitch they did, right? So, y'all, and it's not funny, but y'all, you got to last some days and keep from crying because I want to sock that bitch in her eyeballs. You understand me? I wanted to take her and smash her dang on head and knock her head between the washer and the dryer. You understand me? I want to knock her head in between the bins. You understand me? I need somebody to hear me. But God blocked it, right? And what's even crazier is that this woman knew one of my family members because later on her son told me something, right? You'll be surprised as who's in the head and the tail of things, right? And God been taking me back throughout my life and taking me on a journey, right? A reading rainbow, take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow, right? God been taking me on a journey. What do you say? I can see twice as high. Y'all, that was my stuff. The black guy who ran that episode he was the truth. I just seen something flashing lights. What you doing? Stop breaking. Why you standing there not saying nothing? Why you standing there not saying nothing?
You still up, huh? Motherfucker.
But why you standing there not saying nothing?
I just came in. I came right to your door.
I seen something. What you got in your hand?
Nothing.
Oh, maybe it's your ring. I seen your ring flash. My dogs is gonna ride for me, but you shouldn't be able to sneak up on me without my fucking dogs.
I came right to you.
But anyways, y'all, like I was saying, I'm gonna keep on going. And so, now I forgot what part I was at. I'm gonna keep on pushing. And so anyways, y'all, they took her up there, right? She dropped dirty for everything, right? Everything and stuff. And now, you know when you go somewhere and something happened, they not supposed to tell you, but everybody knows, right? Everybody gonna know. But what's crazy is when she got caught, that bitch, excuse my language, Lord, that supervisor, when she got caught, that supervisor, straightened his back up, right? He went from laughing to straight because he was all leaned over. And you know how people lean over and they and dip it in between stuff so other people can't see him? He was happy that was happening. But see, let me tell you how God worked. Lord, do it for me. I could read everybody's happenings that was coming after them and after that situation. And I read it, right? I read it to the T, right? I said it out my mouth what was coming for them. Several times, though. Not once. Several times. I kept telling people what was going to happen to each person in there, right? And so... they end up walking her out the door. She had a little bit of everything in her system, and he come back and say, like that lady, I'm gonna tell you again, that lady on Living Color, I ain't supposed to tell y'all because it's private affairs. And but yes, they did walk her out, but that's all I can give you guys. But everybody knew what she had in her system, how much it was, and it was over the amounts of the X, Y, and Z, right? And so people come back and telling me, they're like, that's crazy, right? And then once she leave, one of the people come up to me and say, you know they switched like 30 people because of her. I'm like, what you talking about? Like girls, like all the girls that come here that was younger, but why you just not saying that, right? But sometimes it's like, whatever, right? Y'all, so she ended up being walked out, right? But y'all remember when I told y'all she had dropped that Rello on the ground and got those two dudes falsely accused and drug tested. That was not their stuff. She came in there and dropped that on the floor and went and told on them as if they the ones who dropped it. And look how it turned around and bit her in her ass, right? And her son still worked there. He didn't work there super long after her. He ended up leaving. But what's crazy is I think that he left too from embarrassment. Because a couple days after that, right, he kept walking around with his chest buffed out, right? He'd leave out chest all buffed out, right? And so one day I seen him going into the kitchen, right? And the kitchen was all the little cafeteria thing, and it was all the way down there. And I said, he got one more time to walk past me with his chest buffed out, and I'm gonna say something to him, right? And he did it. One day he came in and he did it. And I said, okay. And so I followed him to the lunchroom, right? The little cafeteria area. And I said, hey, I said, how you doing? And he said, I'm doing good. And I said, I would say I'm sorry for what happened. I said, but I can't, right? I said, it's people in here been going through things. And I said, but why are you why are you walking past me, right? I'm a whole woman, walking past me with your chest buffed out like I did something to you or I did something to her. She did that to herself. And so he sat down at the table, right? When I first stopped him, he wanted to, right? But it's like, oh my God, right? How do you defend this? And so he sat down at the table, right? And he says to me, you know what? He said, it's like, I want to be so mad. He said, I want to be mad at you. I want to be mad at her. I want to be mad at this place. He said, but man, he said, I can't even be mad. How can I defend this? How can I? He said, it just don't stop, man. It just don't stop, right? So I'm like, what you mean? He like, she do this shit at home. She do this shit to me. She do this shit to my brother. She keep putting us in the middle of stuff every fucking time. He said, this stuff don't stop, man. He said, it ain't just in here. He said, how can he said, how am I defend this? How am I even feel so? He said, I'm walking through here doing this. He said, you're right. You absolutely fucking right. I am fucking tired, right? He said, do you know? He said, I don't even want to talk about her like that. He said, I'm just tired. I'm tired. He said, I could tell you decent. I could tell you good. I could tell. He said, she did. You know how many people they moved because of my mama? Do you know how many people got moved because of her? How many people that I am in a situation with? What's going on?
Why you keep on?
Was a problem, right? And he had to leave several jobs because of her. And I'm like, but you ain't doing nothing wrong. You got to leave, right? And people look at it as if it's a loyalty thing, right? His head was hanging so low, right? It's crazy because when I'm recording on this person on this other end keep blocking these storage for, that means that something is touching them in their spirit while they watching on the other end and they feel some type of way, right? When I'm keep saying what I'm saying, this person keep cutting me off on this other end while I'm talking and recording on this here app. And so I was talking about how the young dude sat down on a little table thing, and he was telling me how he didn't know how to feel, right? He didn't know how to feel. He didn't know if he wanted to feel upset, mad, angry. He was confused. He had a little bit of everything going on. And he like, I don't know whether I want to blame her or if I want to blame the job, blame you. He like, but this been going on my whole life, man. He like, do you know that I got my brother to speak back to this woman? Basically to their mom, right? He called her this woman. And he said, do you know, after me having to go back and forth trying to get my brother, right? Trying to keep the family together. It's always somebody in there trying to keep everything together, right? He said, trying to keep everybody together. He said, she ruined it every single time, man. Every single time. I hold my thing. He said, this stuff been basically going on since me and my brother been kids. He said, it took me so much to get my brother to come back in the fold, man. He said, I'm staying with her right now. He said, but every day is something. Every day is chaos. He said, people, I come in here. He said, a lot of times, he said, people don't know why my face is balled up. He said, it's because of her. She always effing doing stuff, man. He said, we've been fighting since we've been little boys. We've been in stuff since we've been little boys. Like, I mean, he said, like 3-4 years old out there fighting people because of her. Because of her. He said, where do it end? He said, how do you get to the point where you separate yourself? He said, my brother got to the point where he just left her alone, man. He said, it's just too much. I'm tired, man. He just kept saying he was tired, right? And he said, do you know that I forced my brother, right, to talk back to her? He said, and he started bringing the kids over so she can watch him. You know, he get a girl. He said, my brother about to get married, man. And he said he finally proposed to his girl. He said, and it's something every day with this woman. Every day. He said, she trying to separate him. He said, she disrespecting his wife. He said, do you know, man, I'm sitting in the freaking kitchen. He said, my brother come over, drop off the kids. He said, my mom watched the kids for him and stuff like that. And he said, my brother was keeping the kids away. The girlfriend didn't want to come around. You know, the fiance didn't want to come around because how bad it was. He said, I commend the fiance because, he said, who you know about to be dealing with stuff like that, man? He said, I mean, disrespectful. He said, I mean, her mouth, everything, her action. He said, man, he said, my brother drop off the kids. He said, the kids leave. He said, the kids in the house. He said, my mama in the house telling the kids how to disrespect their fucking mama, man. He said, I told her about that. He said, she wondering why my brother want to be around. He said, she know what the fuck she doing, man. He said, I can't keep doing this, right? Destroying her son's lives, right? Obnoxiously wild and just like purposely doing it, right? And so he said that she got to when she's like, oh, she ain't gonna drink no more. He said, but you know what's so crazy? It's not even from the liquor. He said, people only do what is already in their heart. He said, the evilness, like just pure evil. He said, you know, my brother was dropping the kids off. He said, soon my brother was leaving out. He said, she got to following up behind him, and she went to the car and said something nasty to the mama, like kept saying little slick stuff to his fiance. And so he said, I'm trying to stay out of it. After I got him to come around, after he wasn't coming around no more, he said, now I'm looking at just standing there. He said, this been going on forever. He said, I'm so freaking tired, right? He couldn't even get it out fully. And so he like, when my brother leaving out, he telling her after she saying little slick stuff, we just noticed how she is. He said, you know that my brother had to check her about telling the kids, right, the grandkids, his kids, like stop telling my kids to disrespect their mama, right? This is their mother. Don't tell my kids, right? Because the kids going home. I done deleted 20 videos just to get a 3-minute video. Ain't that crazy? But anyways, so he's sitting up there telling me about what's been going on, right? I explained all this stuff, but I guess I'm about to do it again. I'm about to break you. I mean, I guess if that's what you're doing. Anyway, y'all, they be in the background mad as hell about what I be speaking on, but it be touchy, right? And so it's always somebody in the back watching. They be on my platform watching me, and they be touching their heart because they grew up in the same situation, and they don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to, they dealing with the same toxicity. Who you think you is to call me out? I mean, I ain't call you out, but if the shoe fit weird, right? Because this ain't for that. This is about what many people go through, and they is caught in the midst, in the between, and in the middle, in the end. And it's like, where do it end? That's all he kept saying. It's where do it end, right? And he got to telling me about how the brother, he guilt tripped the brother into bringing the kids back around and coming back around. And he said, now I'm feeling some type of way because I done guilt tripped him, right? Knowing how she is to bring the kids around. He said she got the kids disrespecting the mama. He said the wife don't want to say nothing. She ain't come from our type of background. She a sweetheart, right? And he just going on and telling me different things about what she had been doing. He said, I got all my felonies from her. Majority of all my felonies come from her. Messing with her. He said, whether it's me having to fight her or sticking up for her. Majority of all my stuff that I got. He said, again, it's the best job I ever had. He said, man, where I'm going to find another job making this much money where I'm actually in. He said, I ain't even a temp. He said, they actually ended up hiring me in. He said, I got hired in before her. He said, I feel like I got to leave because of her and this, that, and the other. He said, if I don't leave, she going to come up here and be destructive. He said, I don't want her coming up here picking me up. He said, this is the type of stuff. Because a lot of people say, well, why would you have to leave because of that? Because he didn't have transportation and he was utilizing her to come and get him. And he like, I don't want to be in the midst. It's just too much. It's too much. Where do this end from job to job to job? He said, I gotta leave y'all. I said, but you ain't gotta do nothing, right? He said, but it's still gonna keep going. It's just gonna keep, she ain't gonna stop. So he telling me he had to pick her up and slam her before he got to work, right? I'm like, oh my God. He like, my brother had to push her because he tried to go after the wife, telling the kids, and my brother say, stop telling the kids to disrespect my wife. Like, don't tell them, y'all, the kids talking back. I mean, it was wild. The stuff he was telling me was out of this world, right? And it was just like, damn. And it just keep getting passed down and just keep getting passed down. So I just let him sit there and vent to me about all the things, but it was just like my heart poured out for him because it's like, I kind of felt bad, like, damn, right? But it's like, why do you even got to get to that point, right? She need to be put down. Y'all, you ain't going to believe fat means greasy. It's many years later, right? I want to say last year, I had to go downtown to take care of some business, my local downtown to take care of some business. And I bull crap y'all not. Y'all, I parked my car and I'm sitting there. Some say, don't get out the car yet, right? And so I'm sitting there. And y'all, I look up and I see her going up the damn stairs to the police department, right? I was about passed out in the car. I said, she's still going. It's years later, she's still going, right?
He was telling me about like how when they was kids, they was out there trying to fight grown men because of her. Like grown men out there putting their hands on her because she going out there doing stuff to them, saying stuff all out their mouth. He said, just the stuff that we seen as kids, we shouldn't have seen, we shouldn't have been around. He said, when you get older and you normalize it. And he said, even though in your heart you know it's not right. And he said, I sit there many days just talking to myself like, this ain't right, it ain't right, right? Even for me to be defending her the way I do. He said, but it's my mom, man. It's my mom. He said, but it's wrong. It's all wrong, and I know better. I know it's wrong.
And you know it's bad when that same person that you defending, you so toxic that you got to put your hands on him. He said, but now I'm a monster, right? He said, and so I'm doing jail time. She feeling bad because she put me in jail and pressed the charge because she an asshole. He said, and then, he said, everybody just stubborn. Everybody stubborn. Everybody going out with a bang. Everybody, right? He said, did it get to the point where you actually got to sit down? And now you think about your actions. They think about their actions, right? He said, she put me in jail, but she sending me money. She did that and the other. He said, but now I got a felony. Now my life harder, right? He said, and it's just, stop it. It just keep going, right? He said, I'm here. Now I'm talking to you, right? And I just bust out laughing. He said, but where do this end? He said, I can't even be here. I can't even be here, right? I just let him rant on. I was in that room with him for at least about an hour, just let him go. And I'm like, I didn't even care about the parts. I'm like, I'll get to him in a minute because he need to get this out of his chest because he probably about to go back to jail because he slammed her. He said, I slammed her on her head. And I said, what? I said, no. He said, I checked her. He said, because like, I want to be mad at you. He said, and she, every day, coming home, talking about you, talking about other people. He said, I'm working with her. So he said, I'm coming in and I'm looking at you. I'm looking at other people that she did this to before you. He said, and I want to feel some way towards you. But how to deserve somebody when I know her? I know you ain't did nothing. I know she evil. I know she jealous. I know she ain't right. He said she did this to her friends, and she ain't got no friends. She did it to this person, that person. He said she doing it to me, she doing it to my brother. He said, and now she trying to do it to the grandkids. He said, it gotta stop, man. He said, I done did this and did that. He said, my brother ain't even talking to me now. He said, because when they got to fighting on the damn stairs, he had to push her because she tried to jump in his white face after he had to check her about, I guess, when the brother checked her about the kids, he was dropping them off, but she was walking them out to the car. It was dark outside, so he turned around and said, hey, don't go to this car messing with her. Leave her alone. That's bad when you got to stop somebody when ain't even nothing going on, and you got to give them a pep talk. And he said, and stop disrespect. It turned it up a notch when he said, and stop having my kids coming home disrespecting her, telling her, because they telling us that, my granny said, I ain't got to listen to you, and all this stuff. They don't do it to him, and ain't doing it in front of him, but they waiting until he gone to tell that to mama, right? Because they feel like they got a backup plan. And so, once the daddy leave out the house because they know better, daddy ain't having it, and you can about tell, I never met him, but I can about tell the dad's demeanor, he probably got a more stubborn, aggressive demeanor where they ain't even playing in front of dad like that at all, on no level, right? And they really hoping the mama don't even say nothing, but they trying it, right? Because they got a backup plan, they got a wild cannon on the loose in the back, bagging them up. So it's like, I know I ain't supposed to be playing like this, and I know I'll never say this in front of dad, but he ain't here, let me sneak this out on you, right? And she turned around like, what is going on? And it's like, Mama, I know I just said that, but please don't tell dad, but the kids don't understand, right? They don't understand, right? So they trying it. Even if you know better, it's like you got a loose cannon back and you up. What do you do? I mean, if I was their age and I had a loose cannon backing me up, I probably would have tried a few things, right? My granny would have knocked me every way but loose. She would have turned me every way but loose. My grandmother would have turned me every way but loose. You understand? My hair would have been gone. My eyebrows would have been gone. My eyelashes would have been gone. My back would have been gone. The skin would have been missing off the whole back half of me, right? I would have been still having soap in my mouth to this day. I would have been foaming at the mouth, right? Remember, my granny used to put soap in her mouth, and she'd say, hold it, right? She was an OG. She ain't having it. You said, what out your mouth? Hold that soap in your mouth. And it wasn't the soap. It was the holding it in your mouth for all that time. Oh, man, it was horrible, right? Wash your mouth with soap, clean it out, right? She meant literal clean it out. Hold that soap in there, my mouth be burning like a mother lover. I be standing there like, oh man. And my brother gave me the trick to the trade. He said, hey, even though, he said, how she gonna know how much soap you got in your mouth? He said, when she tell you to open up your mouth so she can see how much you got in there, to see if you still holding it, he said, spit a little bit out at a time and then fill it back up with your spit, right? And he said, make it bubble, right? Man, we used to be hollering. When we got older, I said something, man, we was on the flow. I said, remember you taught me the trick for the trade, right? And so, anyways, y'all, I just kind of want to end it with that, right? I didn't want me to carry on this long, but I kept having to delete and come back. And let people be people, right? It comes a day, time, and a place and a space in between spaces. Remember, I told y'all, Granddaddy always said that there's always a problem before you get in between the place and the space, right? And so, now that you know that, what you gonna do? Even if they been knocking people out the boxes, comic view, and then laughing about how they're coming together to destroy people in their lives and lie on them and gang up even though they don't like each other, sellout style, right? Even though we don't like each other, we're gonna come together to destroy this person and then go back to beefing, right? Because they're washed up. And so, y'all, be careful of the rage bait. Be careful of falling into the bottomless pit, right? They out there digging a hole for you and then going in the background telling on you and lying on you. You don't even know them people, right? Even if you watched them people every blue moon because you thought they was okay on the way until you figured out they wasn't, right? Until you got up there, everybody happy as long as you stay small. I don't care who it is. It's amazing how you can go from admiring to beefing, and you ain't even know you was beefing, and these people spill out about healedness and God out their mouth, but they insecure. I need for some of y'all to come from the back of y'all screens, right? And stop being the one that's viewing and become the viewer, right? Become the one that's being viewed, right? And hopefully I said that right. Stop viewing and do something with that time, right? You know that endless scrolling you guys do? Come from the back of there and put what your mama gave you to work, right? Dig in your Barney bag and dig out your creativity and see, you will start to see the same people, right, that you thought that you had a admiration for. Oh man, they really be talking about some. Oh man, they okay. Oh man, they all right. You will see these people are monsters, right? They're monsters. Their heart is in the wrong place. They want to be the one that's up there being viewed and right? I remember I was talking to an individual, right, and they kept saying that something was taking place around them, and it finally clicked to me after they said it so many times, and I said, nah. I said, you don't get on this and that, right? I said, you don't get on these different things, and I said, but you got a lot to say and a lot to tell, and you got to walk, right? This person had a journey. And I said, if you spoke about some of the things you did or took it and put it into a creative manner, right? Whatever it is, if you're an artist or whatever, right? And you got a person stand by you somewhere, watching you move around, right? You come off as a threat. These people's faces and heads is too busy stuck off in their screen, and they're playing this certain type of lifestyle to the world, right? And so you're a threat, right? And these people are looking for the next best thing, and a lot of people don't think about it like that, but a lot of these people are looking for the next best viral video, and they would do anything to get it, right? And then you got those who've been sitting there, and they're washed up, right? And they really ain't talking about that. They've been repeating themselves for the last couple of years in different ways. They're upset because there's new people coming up because God said ready, set, go, right? And God been in the background building you up and fixing you in a way, in a place, and having you to have some integrity and putting yourself up out of that thing that you've been going through for all these years, even family sabotage, y'all. And everybody trying to put you in the back and go first and before you, right? Even though you was first. They said, you get in the back of the line, you get in the back of the line. And it's like, no, the teacher said that it's my time to go, right? It's my turn to stand in the front. It's my time to be the leader. And when you be the leader, everybody out of line, everybody in the back, you're like, why? Everybody else be the leader, right? And everybody standing in a straight line behind that person. But when you become a leader, right? The line leader, everybody out of place. It's like, damn, wait a minute, let me look behind you real quick. But sometimes you just can't even look back. You gotta keep on pushing. All right? And it's Moo 999999995. You understand? It's my station, right? And they trying to block out our stations. They will even use the people around you to tell them, what are you doing, right? Where did that come from? How did you put that there together? There, like that there. That sound like my uncle, right? Like that there. He used to say that when I was little. Moo, what are you doing over there, right? Like that there. Yeah, my family is funny, right? I love them. I love them. I love them, right? Even though we are all toxic in our own way, right? None of us better than nobody. But somebody think they better than everybody. Because it's me, I say, because it's me. I want to know. And don't let them trick you about your spot. Trick no good. And I want to go back to this passage, right? Don't let them rage bait you out there now, okay? Don't let them rage bait you and get you about your hook up, right? That's another uncle right there. Don't let them get you out your hook up, right? He used to tell me that when I was younger. And now I really understand what that means, right? Don't let them get you out your hook up. Because they are talking about, come out here so we can fight. Come out here so we can fight. No teachers, no bites. No might with all my mites. Let's fight by ourselves, right? Because I'm a big girl, right? And I'm going to do this like this. But they're riding dirty. They fighting dirty, right? And meanwhile, they staging stuff and saying, watch what she do to me. Watch what she do to me. You might have got on somebody's stuff and said, hey, and took it off because you ain't wanted to think that you was clout chasing, right? And they said, look at her. She on there. She teasing me and she messing with me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Meanwhile, they in the back following you, stalking you, paying people in your family to record you and send your 99.99 station in to them so they can copy and repeat that, copy and delete that and say that they did it first. Yeah. But see, one thing about it is this. Authentic is authentic. You understand? Authentic is authentic, right? When God break you down like a pound and build you back up and wrap you up, right? I wasn't even trying to rhyme that. You hear me? What you do is for you and what they do is for them. But everybody seem to don't know their job, right? When you got on there, everybody lost track of their jobs, right? They be so mad that when you got on the station, 99.9995, right? Everybody was all in their lane. But when you got in there, they dipped over in your lane. They yelled a little bit of his lane and a little bit of that Tory lane. You feel me? Yeah. And so everybody out of line. Everybody step back in their place. It's like, know your place, know your job, right? Including myself, right? And if you do that over there, I'm not coming over there trying to do that over there. I don't care what you doing over there like that there. Period. Right? Move up over here. Yeah, I did have my favorites. And I always said, right, God will use things to, man, I'm telling you. Y'all, it was some people that I watched, right? And I said, man, if I ever get blessed, I'm blessing these people. I'm blessing them like I really like their word, right? But when God said, get up there and do this and do that, right? Go speak your truth, right? When they started trying to out-holler me and then implement my stuff, I said, I ain't blessing none of them. And God said, this is why I need to show you. Ezekiel, go up in that thing and see this and see that. Man, God will show you. Man, I said, Lord, ain't too many I'm blessing out here. Because somebody going to get there where they can bless somebody one day. You understand? And it's a handful of people that I really like on these platforms. And I said, I'm blessing them. They going to be blessed. I mean, like, really, I chew bless you, right? I chew and blessing motherfuckers, right? I mean, like, it's some people that help me out of some spaces, right? And people don't get it twisted and mixed up neither. Because everybody is needed for a time, right? And this is what God also been working with me with as well, right? But that don't mean that you take them over into your lane, and when you get blessed, you go on and put them in a claim, right? Some people it's just for that moment, that time, right? When you grow and you heal past that, you grow and heal to the next thing, right? So you might listen to some sad music. I used to think that I wasn't fine enough, and I used to think that I wasn't wild enough, but I won't waste my time trying to figure out, right? You started there, right? And then you went on to listening to a little bit of meditation, contemplation, dedication, and revelation. That's one of my elders' favorite words, dedication and revelation. Dedication and revelation. I said it first, dedication and revelation. Dedication and revelation. Dedication and revelation. Right? The only person I ever heard say that was one of my family members, right? Dedication and revelation, right? That's his favorite line, right? And so, you go to the stage in the phase of you done graduated from the sad music to the meditation to the dedication and revelation, right? Then you go to the, I might give you a little word out the Bible, right? And then you might go to something else, or you might scroll past somebody and see somebody you really like. And you rock with that person. But then you get to the point where you start outgrowing that, right? But you might really, really rock with that person. Like that person say, man, you know what? They started from the bottom with me, right? That's why you gotta respect your people who support you, because you don't know what you got them through, what they going through, what you brought them through, and none of it, right? People always they play the role like we on the even playing scale because what they say out their mouth, but they actions in the background be wild, right? You got to be careful, right? Who you is following up and they BS, right? I don't care how they sound and how they talking. I don't care what they say out their mouth, right? When you out there, you grow past it all, right? We always got room to grow. Anyways, y'all, that's stuff neither here nor there. Don't get caught out there. Don't get caught up in the rage baiting. I love y'all. Don't get caught in the background. Get up, get up. When they say get up, get out and get something. Get up, get out and do something, right? I love y'all. Keep our heads up and I'll be back. What? Only if it's God's will. Yeah. Back. You can blame it all on me. I forgot yesterday, y'all, when I got up, I was sitting there, right? And I kind of just sit there in my bed. And I'm kind of chilling, meditating. And I heard out loud, ye thee so little of faith, right? And so I'm like, what is that, right? And I kind of chuckled. Because I just want to let somebody know, right? Whatever you're going through out there, whatever, if you feel like the odds are stacked against you, it don't, none of it matter, right? Find God. Put your faith in your heart in God, right? And leave it at that. When you see it's 100, 2,000, 2 million against one, right? Don't none of it matter, right? Keep your faith in God, because God is the world, right? Controls. You know you that motherfucker, that mother lover. When you can make 1 million people come up against one, you know you that mother lover. When you can make enemies come together and go into plans, right? You know you that mother lover. When you can cause people, right, to get out their seat and go to action. You know, right? And so it don't matter how many, who, what, when, where, right? Why? It don't matter about none of that. All that matter is that you can make them do it, right? That you can make them do it. So it ain't about being boastful, right? It's just the fact of you gotta be doing something right. If everybody liked me, I know for a fact we have a problem. It's a problem, right? See, when people did like me, right, all of it was fake anyways. It was all fake and staged. They stayed around staging and setting up and causing problems. But when I went by myself and I made them mother lovers come out of hiding, right? The people that was all the way back there and you done went on up there and lived your life and you forgot all about them and they coming into places and spaces you ain't seen them people in 20 years. You know you that mother lover. But God will let you see who's been the head of the hem of your problems for a long time. That person that came in and disappeared, right? That person that you was around for a couple years or some years or you was friends with and they disappeared and you never look back, never think to look back, you done forgot about them. And they get up out they seat to come in. The God will let you see some stuff. Y'all gotta just sit back and be watchful, right? And take it all in, right? And so y'all have a blessed one. And I'll be back. What? Only if it's God's will. I love y'all. Yeah.